I just finished The Hunger Games. He always wants to play with the camera strap, and I always have to tell him no. Do I look like an egg? Would you tell me if the headband looked bad? If I look like an egghead, I'm blaming you guys. Hi everyone, welcome back to another reading vlog. Today we are reading the infamous Hunger Games for the very first time. I have never read the Hunger Games. When I was younger, I hated reading, absolutely despised it. In class, whenever I would have to read a book for homework, I would read about a chapter, then I would mentally just check out and read Spark Notes about it. So this is the first time I'm going to be reading this very, very popular series. Me and my boyfriend just watched all the movies, and we watched them because he just finished Haymitch's book, which is Suzanne Collins' most recent release. But as we were watching them, I kept wanting to know more. I wanted to know all of the lore and everything that was happening because my boyfriend read the books years ago and he knows most of the lore. So I've just been very curious about this series. I really hope she publishes more books in the future. Since I just watched all the movies, I know all of the characters, or at least most of the characters, some of the lore, and I really, really want to hear other characters' stories in the future. So hopefully Suzanne Collins is down to write those books for us. I've been going back and forth deciding if I want to read this series or listen to the series. They are available on Hoopla, so if you have a local library that supplies you Hoopla, they are available at any time to listen to. If you have Libby, I'm sure they're on there. You just might be on a wait if people ahead of you are trying to read the books as well. But this morning I borrowed the first book in the trilogy and we are going to start that today. I also don't have the physical copies, so we're gonna start by listening to them, and then once I pick up my physical copies, we might do immersive reading, which is reading the book while listening to the audiobook so you can kind of follow along. I'm very, very excited though. I've been obsessed with this series, watching the movies, and I'm very excited that I now get to experience the books. I'm doing it a little backwards, but these movies and books have been out forever, and I had already seen the movies years ago. We just recently rewatched them, so they're fresh in my mind, and I've heard that they are very, very similar to the books, so hopefully I don't get too caught up on the little details and I can just enjoy all of the extra lore that the books provide. I'm actually very excited to start. I'm going to start the book right when I end this clip, so let's get into the first book. I think I'm gonna vacuum my bedroom, kind of pick up the house a little bit, and we'll enjoy the first book in the Hunger Games. I'm so excited! Also, I'm pretty sure this video is only going to include the original trilogy, but if you want me to do an updated video of Songbird and Snakes and Sunrise on the Reaping, I believe is Haymitch's book, I might do an updated version later on. We'll see. We'll start with the original trilogy, which includes The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay, and then we'll see where we go from there. I'm so excited! Let's get into it! My head is pounding. I look weird, I think. It looks so cute on everyone else, but when I do it, I feel like I just look like I have a head injury. I am happy to report that I am, let's see, 68% through this book. Is it focusing? 68% through the book, and I'm eating up every single second. This book is so good. It is very similar to the movies. My review is going to be based off of someone who has seen the movies multiple times and is experiencing the books for the first time. So obviously I have a different perspective compared to someone reading it for the very first time, especially as a younger reader. I feel like most people my age read them when they were in middle school, high school, so everyone has a different kind of approach to it. But as someone who has watched the movies, who has loved the movies, they did such a good job with the movies. I feel like the movies are very, very accurate to the books. Obviously, there's a few things that are changed that are different, a few things that aren't included, but I would say they did a fantastic job because so far, they haven't left out much and they haven't changed much. There was one scene with Rue, if you know, you know, Rue and the net. A few logistical things were changed, but to me as a reader, that didn't really bother me that much. But it is so incredibly good, and I just want to say I love Rue so much. If you know, we're about 70% through the book, and that adds up to our big scene with Rue. And even though this is a very old series and a lot of people know what happens, I still want to do a completely spoiler-free reading vlog because there's a lot of series that I haven't read or haven't seen the movies to that I don't want spoiled. I saw something similar online with the Throne of Glass series. People were posting spoilers for Throne of Glass, and in the comments they justified it by saying that it's been out for whatever plus years. I think it was 10 plus years. I'm not sure when that series came out, but there's still people in the comments that haven't read it yet and that don't want it to be spoiled. And yes, they have had time to read it, but as someone who has not read Throne of Glass yet and who still wants to, I wouldn't want that spoiled. So I'm still gonna keep this spoiler free. I know a lot of people probably have watched the movies, have read the books, know exactly what happens. Just for the small percentage who haven't, we're keeping it spoiler free, and I'm gonna try to allude to things for the people who have seen the movies and read the books. But at least if you haven't yet, you can still watch this video without major spoilers. I'm having such a good time. I love these movies. I love this book so far. I have a little over 3 hours left. I'm getting a little tired. I just yawned. So I won't be able to finish it today because it's already 11:30. I'll probably listen to a bit more of it, maybe 30 minutes. So then tomorrow we'll have a little less than 3 hours left. And I'm assuming it's going to continue being absolutely amazing. Suzanne Collins is just such a great writer. I also love hearing from Katniss herself because, again, as someone who has only watched the movies, you see her in the movies, but you don't really hear her thoughts. You don't hear how she feels about certain things. So having the book in her perspective, I really like that I know what she's thinking and what's going on in her head, because in the movie you may see how she reacts to something, but you don't necessarily know how she feels about it. Like, she might be angry about something, but you don't really know why, or she could be angry for multiple reasons. So I love being in her head and knowing exactly how she's feeling and how she thinks through things, because she is very intelligent, and in these games it's a lot of stress, a lot of strategy. She has to stay alive with all these people wanting to eliminate her. So I love being in her point of view and how she thinks about these games and how she thinks about each step she's gonna make, because yes, you kind of get to see how she operates in the movies, but you don't really get to see it through her eyes and in her mind. I love that the books are in her point of view and they're not in like a third party point of view. I've been yapping. I'm gonna finish up this book and then we'll check back in tomorrow. I'm very, very excited to finish this one and then start on Catching Fire. I'm flying through this book. It's such a bingeable book. It's so easy to read. I am listening to it, which makes it obviously a lot easier, but I feel like if I had the physical copies with me, it would be just as easy to read. It's so bingeable. I think that really speaks to the ease of Suzanne Collins' writing. I absolutely love it. Like, I can't stop gushing over how much I'm enjoying this book and how good of a time I'm having. So I'm gonna read a little more and then I'm gonna go to bed and I'll update you in the morning. I'm on my walk and I just had a thought about Thresh. I wish we knew more about Thresh. There's someone coming. But I wish we knew more about Thresh and District 11, because I feel like they have similar circumstances as District 12. And Katniss just said, I like him. If he was in District 12, I feel like we would be friends. And I wish that we had more of his story and who he is as a person, because we have Rue. We know who Rue is and like kind of what she's about. I wish we had more about Thresh too. It's the next day and it's like 7 p.m. We're on our walk. All these cars keep driving by and I'm getting too nervous. But we're 75 to 80% through the book. I'm definitely gonna finish it tonight and I'll let you know more thoughts. I forgot to film anything this morning because I was just hanging out, not really reading, just watching YouTube and relaxing. And I just slept bad last night, so I was just laying low. I'm on a walk with the dogs right now, listening to the book. So I'll listen to like 40 minutes. I'll probably walk around for like 40 minutes until the sun sets. And then I'll go home and finish it and kind of let you know final thoughts before we start Catching Fire, which I'm really, really excited about. I just finished book 1 and I have so many thoughts. I had a great time. 10 out of 10 recommend, 5 stars. This book is so good. There are some things, like I said earlier, that are changed a little bit. Like with those mutants or whatever they call them, how they were a little different in the book versus the movie, and then the situation with Kato, that was a little different. But overall, like I said earlier, I don't think the differences are anything that's ruining the experience. Like if I think I read the books and then later on saw the movies and saw what they changed, I don't think I would be that upset about it. And one of the best movie adaptations I've ever seen. Obviously that's gonna be a different experience coming from someone who has read the books as a child, watched the movies, things like that. They're more attached than I am, but I thought it was very good. Was pleasantly surprised. Very excited to start the next book. I already borrowed it from Hoopla, so I'm probably gonna start it tonight because I'm just so excited about it. I might, let's see. I might start that and then start on my reading journal because it is officially September as I'm filming this video, and I have to do my September spread for my reading journal. I need to think of some kind of concept to do for September. Last month in my reading journal, I had like a birthday cake because I have an August birthday, but I wonder what I'm gonna do for September. So I'm gonna look on Pinterest for any ideas, do my reading journal, and start Catching Fire. I absolutely love this series. I'm so excited. I finished Hunger Games in a day and a half, so I wonder how fast I can get through Catching Fire and Mockingjay, and then I can like post this video right away because this is the fastest reading vlog I've had so far, and I'm really enjoying it. That's a testament to how good the books are, that you can just fly right through them. And I was in a reading slump before I started this video. Like I was reading so many vampire romances that just weren't hitting, and then I started this video and I feel like a brand new person. Like this is crazy. I'm so excited. This is a suggestion for anyone in a reading slump right now. Try reading The Hunger Games or any other type of series that you really liked as a kid or that's very popular from when you were a kid, because you know young adult books from a while ago are gonna be such easy reads and you can just flip right through them. I think I'm gonna do Percy Jackson next because that is one of my boyfriend's favorite series. He's been begging me to do a reading vlog about Percy Jackson, but I'm very excited. I'm very happy. I'm having a great time. Let me post this TikTok, then I'll start Catching Fire, and then I'll start my reading journal, and we'll just be having a grand old time. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. My cat is trying to destroy everything.
Wait a damn minute.
But this is the inspo, and this is— stop! This is how it turned out. I like it. I swear to God, cat. Stop. I like it a lot. I think it turned out pretty good. Hi. Long time no see. I really don't remember the last thing that I said in this vlog. This is what happens when I try to film two reading vlogs at the same time. I just finished my vampire romance reading vlog, and let's see what percentage we're at. And now we're 58% through Catching Fire. I really don't know if I said anything about Catching Fire, and I'm sorry that I look like this while I'm talking to you. I just got out of the shower. But I wanted to give my updates because I had a lot of thoughts today while I was taking the dogs for a walk and listening to it, and I wanted to kind of say them before I forget. So I would say Catching Fire so far is the most different from its movie. The Hunger Games, they depicted it very, very accurately. Catching Fire, I would say, is more different than the movie because I was 40 to 50% through Catching Fire and they hadn't even been reaped yet. They didn't know what the theme was for the quarter quell. It was all just that in between from the Hunger Games to before the quarter quell reaping, and it was all just backstory about the different districts revolting and the revolution and all this behind the scenes like drama and tension and everything. And you do see some of that in the movie. There's a little bit of a build-up, but I would say in the movie it's more like 30% if anything, where this one was like 40 to 50%. So they did cut out some moments. Even while I was reading it, I did appreciate that extra information, but also I was kind of sad that we're missing out on that extra time with the contestants of the quarter quell because I really loved getting to know Finnick and Mags and Joanna and all of the other people that are allies with Katniss in Catching Fire. I really would love to know more about them, and I hope they get their own books one day because their stories, I can't even imagine how crazy they are. And just what we get to see from Finnick in the movies is absolutely unbelievable, and he's been through so much, especially winning at such a young age. I was hoping that we'd get a lot more background on them in the book, but this is also Katniss's book, not their book, so we are limited in that realm. But so far I'm really enjoying it. The part that I'm at, they're currently training for the Quarter Quell, so they've been reaped, they are getting to know each other, and the part that I really love is that scene where Katniss is meeting Finnick for the first time at the carriages and he's eating the sugar cube. Reading the book, I have so much like praise and appreciation for the actor who played Finnick because he took that role and just lifted it off the page, in my opinion. As the book was going, because I'm listening to the book, as they were saying the words, I was just picturing him and his smirks, like his facial features, his delivery, like made it for me. It is unbelievable. He did such a good job with that character, and that scene specifically was like top tier, and I really admire and praise and everything for that actor because he did such a great job with that character. So I was really pleased when that scene came up and I could kind of relive it in my head about his little quirks and smirks and him like messing with Katniss and everything. So like I said, we are over halfway, so we're kind of getting close to the end. Now it's gonna be serious because the games are about to start, and unfortunately I have to hear what happens to Cinna yet again, and I'm not excited for it. That's one of the worst parts of the movie to me. I would say Catching Fire is my favorite movie just because of the characters involved in the Quarter Quell, but the part with Cinna is the most heartbreaking part to me. I don't know why, because like so many people die in this book, but Cinna specifically just tugs at my heartstrings and I can't handle it. He's such a great character. I love him so much. I will update probably tomorrow, maybe not tomorrow, maybe the next day. Tomorrow we're going to an apple orchard and I'm very excited about it. I think I'm gonna film a fall vlog potentially. If I do film it, it'll be out either before or right after this video. I'm not really sure. I'm having a great time. I love these books so much. I completely understand why everyone loves them and why they are such a cult classic favorite of like our generation. And I really hope that Suzanne Collins comes out with more books in the future because I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop reading these books. I think after I post this video, I will read the Songbirds and Snakes and then Sunrise on the Reaping because I need to know Haymitch's story. I really want to know Haymitch's story, even though everyone says it's heartbreaking. I need to know it because I have such a soft spot for Haymitch. Knowing, how do I say this? Knowing what the special event of his Quarter Quell was and how much loss happened, I can't imagine what his story is like, and I completely understand why he is the way he is now. So I really want to know his story, but I'm also really scared to know his story. But alas, I'm going to brush my hair, listen to some more of the book, and then hopefully tomorrow me and my boyfriend have the most fun day at the apple orchard, and I will see you guys soon with an update. I don't even remember. No, he always wants to play with the camera strap and I always have to tell him no. I can't even remember the last time I updated you. I think the last time I updated you I was talking about Finnick, and now we're on a different book. We're on a completely different book. We are on Mockingjay and we're halfway through Mockingjay. I have been terrible about updating it because I've just been locked in and really invested into this series. So I want to update you with where we're at because I don't think I ever did a summary, or not even a summary. I don't think I ever updated about the ending of Catching Fire. I thought it was wonderful. I thought it was, again, very similar to the movies. Catching Fire definitely had more differences between the book and movie than the first book, but I still thought the book is amazing, the movie is amazing. Sorry, he's trying to drink out of my water. I really like this book, and I already knew I would like the books because I love the movies. I can't even imagine reading them for the very first time, never seeing the movies, never hearing anything about them, and seeing your raw reaction because I'm kind of feeling like FOMO, or I don't even know what that would be classified as. Just wishing that I could have experienced the books at its raw material before ever knowing anything about it, because I think this would be absolutely insane to read for the very first time if you had no idea what the plot lines were, the endings were, or whatever. And since I had recently watched the movies, I watched the movies like 2 weeks ago, I'm very refreshed on what the movies entail. So I'm kind of going back and forth comparing them, even though that's not the point of like a reading blog or just of reading the books. It's not to compare, but as someone who's seen the movies way more times than I've ever read the books, it's hard not to compare. And this is also a very, very popular series. Everyone kind of knows what it's about, knows what happens, so I feel like I don't really need to explain the book. But in case anyone hasn't seen the movies, hasn't read the books, Catching Fire is the second book in the Hunger Games. When it comes to series, I try to be very, very minimal on my explanations because most of the time the second book will spoil the first book. So I will say that every year they have the Hunger Games, but every 25 years it's called a quarter quell. So it's extra special because it's the 25th anniversary, the 50th anniversary, and then in Catching Fire it's the 75th anniversary. So it is extra special, and a lot of people are upset with what they chose the theme to be. So there's a lot of revolting, revolutions, uprisings happening, a lot of tension in the districts, in the capital, things like that. So it leads up to this climax at the end where you're left on a huge cliffhanger because the games end in an abnormal way, and then it bleeds immediately into the third book. So it's very, very fast. If you're gonna read these for the very first time, I recommend that once you're 80% through Catching Fire, you pick up Mockingjay right away and make sure you have it with you because you're gonna want to get right into Mockingjay. As for Catching Fire, incredible book. I do think it is my favorite book and my favorite movie so far out of the three, just because I love the characters. I love that you're still getting the games aspect of it, but it's more spunky, I'm gonna call it, because people are more passionate, are really invested in the outcome. They have other things, you know, in the back of their minds. Other things are at play that are hidden from you until the very, very end. So I like all that additional stuff. Again, this book, 5 stars. I think this entire series is gonna be a 5-star. Like, I can't not rate this entire series a 5-star because these books are incredible. The movies are incredible. I absolutely love this entire trilogy, and I'm really, really looking forward to reading the additional books, the prequels. I'm rating I'm rating Catching Fire 5 stars, of course. So we've started Mockingjay and we are 57%. This is a terrible reading vlog because I'm not updating you at all. We are 57% through. Again, trying to be very minimal about my explanation, but the Mockingjay is this very big symbol for the revolution. So it's more into the revolution. A lot of secrets are being unveiled. A place you didn't know about gets unveiled and it's a surprise to a lot of people. And a bunch of chaos is forming. With this one, there is no games. It is more about the destruction and everything that comes with an uprising and a rebellion. That's all I'm gonna say. It's really interesting, really good. What I was really intrigued about is that for the movies, they split Mockingjay into part 1 and part 2, so there were 2 movies for this one book. And I didn't know what that meant for the book itself. Like, how are you gonna pack 4 hours of information into a book? Even though books, their reading time is much longer, whatever. But knowing that they did the first book, Hunger Games, incredibly well, they were able to match the pace incredibly well. Catching Fire was a little different, but still able to match the pace of the book very well in a 2-hour, 1-hour movie. Now that Mockingjay has 2 movies, it's been intriguing to me to see how it plays out in the book. And so far, I'd say it's more aligned with Catching Fire, where there are some differences, but you know, overall it's gonna be based on that raw material in the book. And it's been a really, really great experience because I was a little worried that going from movie to book was gonna be a little weird, but since they did such a phenomenal job, it's been incredibly flawless like the entire time. I'm having a really good time reading these. I really don't want it to end, so I'm really glad that there are prequels to learn about. I really hope Suzanne Collins writes more prequels. I'm really hoping for some more stories. I don't know, this is one of those books where you read it and you just really don't want the series to end, so you kind of start to pace yourself. But I'm just really excited and happy that I love the series and that I'm not like disappointed in it, because I feel like everyone hypes up the series so much, and I'm glad that I'm enjoying it just as much, because even though I missed out on reading them as a kid like everybody else, I still really enjoyed them just as much, and I'm really glad for that. I'm gonna get back to reading it, and I'll probably see you when I'm done. That's crazy to say that by the time I talk to you next, I'll have finished the original Hunger Games trilogy. I'm scared. I don't want it to end. I forgot to say, one of the main differences of Mockingjay is that Effie isn't there. Effie is nowhere to be found, and I'm really upset because in the movie she was in Mockingjay, and I love Effie, and now we don't know where she is, so that's upsetting. But now we're at the wedding and I'm excited. I just finished the Hunger Games for the very first time! Kitty, I'm so excited! He's upset. I just finished the Hunger Games for the very first time, and Effie came back and made an appearance. I'm gonna update you tomorrow. Guys, we finished the Hunger Games. I can't believe it. As someone who was never into reading as a child, I can't believe how nostalgic this feels to note that I finished the original Hunger Games trilogy. I can now have that on my, not repertoire, but on my... what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. But I can now say that I have read the Hunger Games, that I am a competent reader, that I have read one of the most popular series ever made. Some people are calling it a modern classic, and I fully agree. It was a phenomenal time. I am so very excited to read the prequels. I will do that very, very soon because I really want to watch the new movie coming out next year. I'm really excited, and I'm really excited that I don't really know the storylines of the prequels because I haven't seen any of the movies for the Songbirds and Snakes. Obviously, I haven't seen Haymitch's movie because it's not out yet. They're making it right now, but I'm really excited to read those books because I haven't read any of the material or seen any of the movies. But obviously with a prequel, you kind of know what happens because you know who lives in the current day books, but I don't know any of the details. So I'm really excited to kind of go in blind. I've heard everyone is distraught over Haymitch's book, and I can't imagine how emotional that is and how much death there is. But final thoughts for the Hunger Games. It is a 5-star series, 100%. I rated the Hunger Games 5 stars, Catching Fire 5 stars, and my final rating for Mockingjay is 4.5. Just because it is my least favorite out of the trilogy, nothing against Mockingjay. I feel like it is a very, very important book because it is the book of the rebellion. It says so much and does so much, and it dismantles so much, and there's so much symbolism that comes with that book. The entertainment quality, character-wise, I feel like the other books have so many rich, diverse characters that you just fall in love with that you can't help but like those more. But that is not negating the fact that Mockingjay is very, very important and a perfect ending to the trilogy in my opinion. Obviously, I would choose to save some people that we lost along the way, but other than that, it is a chef's kiss trilogy. I love it so much. Thank you all for shoving it down my throat because I needed to read it. It was about time that I read this series. It is phenomenal. Please recommend any other series that I need to read. I already plan on reading Twilight because these special editions come out. I'm so sorry for the barking. With a Great Pyrenees and a German Shepherd, there's hardly any time when they're not barking, but I'm already planning to read the Twilight series because these special editions come out at the end of the month and they are gorgeous. So I plan on buying those and then reading the series now that it's in my hands. I've never read the Twilight series. I've obviously watched the movies many, many times, but I'm very excited to also read Midnight Sun in Edward's perspective. So that'll be a crazy time, but let me know any other iconic series that I need to read. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you love watching book content. I love to post reading vlogs, but I've also gotten into doing wrap-up videos and TBR videos. I also have a fall video coming out very, very soon with just all the things that I love to do during the fall. So if you like content like that, please make sure to subscribe down below and like this video if you enjoyed it. Other than that, very, very soon I will be starting another reading vlog, reading a very highly anticipated series. So if you want to see what series that is, either guess in the comments below and I might like it if you are correct, or follow along and I'll be posting that video very, very soon. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.